part of what we're going to do today isn't just like the intense practice part of doing this, you know, that's not the goal, but it's to give you the education so that you can kind of do it on your own. Whether it's the acupressure, the massage, or the massage of hitting the bag. So picture you have your hands in some water and you forgot your towel and you want to flick the water onto the ground. So again, this would be like inhale, exhale. Preferably all through your nose, tongue up, tongue down. So with any of these exercises, you want to be as relaxed as possible so as to get the blood and the energy to flow to your hands. So meditation could be focused thought, could also be lack of focused thought. Cooking can be meditative. You know, you're focusing on what you're doing. I don't want to burn the house down. I want this to go good. I want the right recipe, the right time, you know, it's focus. Gardening can be meditation. Put your mind where you're at. So that's another definition of meditation, putting your mind where you're at. So I brought up this last time too about the nervous system, the fight or flight, and the rest and digest. Some of you have heard about that before. The example I gave was if that door flies open and someone comes in and says, "There's a fire," and then the fire alarms go off, you're already at a heightened state of awareness then. And all the things on the left start to happen. Your eyes get real wide, you're like looking around, your depth of focus decreases, so you don't see the things on the outside so much, you look at what's in front of you. And then the obvious things are your heartbeat increases, your breathing starts to get, what's going on? So that's not just because of a fire though. It could be stress. You know, it could be things happening in your life that are bothering you. Relationships, finances, the weather, you know, all different things. Take charge of your well-being. Connect with others. You're doing that. You're in the room. You're getting into a little social network with these health-oriented classes. Nourish yourself. That's good food, but that's also good thought. Nourish yourself with something on television that's maybe not the news or politics or something that's going to get you agitated. Support your mental health, same idea. Get your body moving, good sleep, protect your lungs. That's different from the last slide. You want to make sure you're breathing properly. A lot of times as we age, your breathing is going to get more and more shallow. We'll get into that a little bit further, but there's ways that you can breathe deeper so that you can manage stress and tension and so forth. What we're going to do is have an introduction to different types of alternative medicine or alternative therapies. Sometimes they call it complementary medicine. So instead of you just relying upon a pill for everything that ails you, a pill for every ill, maybe there's other things you can do. Cold therapy, hot therapy, you know, as far as cold compresses or hot pads, things like that. There's music therapy. Listening to certain types of music relaxes your nervous system. That can help you manage your pain. There's Reiki. There's massage, there's self-massage, there's friend massage. Have somebody give you a good shoulder and neck massage. There's acupuncture, which is kind of like acupressure. Ones use your hands, the others needle. Usually you need to go to a therapist for acupuncture. Traditional Chinese medicine has many different methods that you can use that don't involve harsh pharmaceuticals or surgeries for different types of things. So in the medical community these days, they're starting to promote a bit more what's called the 5 pillars of health. And sometimes they'll call it 6 or 7 or 8 because they keep adding different things that affect your health and wellness. Well, let's say 5. These are the things that you can affect you on a daily basis. What you eat, what you do for movement, what you're thinking about with your stress, how you sleep, what time you go to bed, if you fall asleep with the TV on, all that kind of stuff, and then your social relationships. Hopefully some of these things get us out of the chair. If you don't have anything to look forward to, why get up, right? You got to have a purpose to get out of the chair every day. Part of my degree was in it's holistic health, all different things with anatomy, physiology, chemistry, biology. Part of it that wasn't required though was psychology, but I had to take so many credits. It's like, well, what's a more relative topic than psychology when it comes to human behavior of people not wanting to take care of themselves? Or, people that do want to take care of themselves, what makes the difference? So I took quite a few of the psychology courses because human behavior is very relative to what we're doing with all of this stuff, right? Today's discussion was going to be a bit more on stress and what types of stress and why stress is good or bad and how that can affect and manifest into headaches. So here's some of the past discussions, and why I like to kind of bring this into the discussion here is because they're all connected. Everything that we've done so far has kind of been working upon each of the different things. We started off with just talking about what holistic health was. We did a bunch of hand exercises. I showed you how to relieve tension in your hands, work on your grip strength a little bit, and how the meridians in your fingers connect to your health. We did the same thing with headaches. We touched some of the different acupressure points on the face, neck, hands also. We did a discussion on balance and how the balance system works with your inner ear and your eyes and your stability and motion. Learn how to use flexibility and strength of your feet, the muscles in your feet and your ankles, how you adjust that to help with your balance. And then last month we did breathing, which is often, very underestimated. People look at breathing as an on and off switch. If you're breathing, you're great. Hey, I'm alive. If you're not, not so good, right? But I went into some depth on how to breathe deeper and why it's important to do that. So again, they all connect to one another. And you got the bones where we're at now. And you could actually trace the bones back to any of those other categories and it would be relative. If you have weak bones, you might have a tendency to lose balance. You're gonna fall, you're gonna injure your wrist, your hip, it's all connected back together to the bones. So now we start to address the mind, right? So I said there's physical things that keep you stuck in a chair. There's also the mental things that keep you stuck in a chair. And that's, you're afraid to go out, or you don't have friends to hang out with. Maybe you're caught up with the news. Everything that comes in, your work, your career, your health, your family, other issues, it comes in by some means into your senses. And then your brain processes it. And then you decide how much of it you want to keep in your brain and how much of it you let go. So if you sit in front of a television all day long and watch whatever news shows on politics, well, you're probably going to have rotted brain soon, right? It's just not healthy. It's maybe it's good to be informed, but too much of it, it's just not good. It's like eating too much junk food. A piece of tiramisu once in a while is really good. But for every meal of the day, every day, not that good. I wanted to engage you to try a couple different exercises while you're sitting in the chair. You can stand up if you want, but sitting will work. So if we start to do something that puts us into our body, whether it's exercise, playing the guitar, gardening, cooking, skillful means will help occupy our thoughts. This is how you can start to put your mind and your body together. Instead of going to the gym and running and you got your headphones in, you're listening to some music and you're kind of disconnected, but you're still doing exercise, we're going to put our mind into what we're doing here. So I'm going to scoot my rear end a little bit to the end of the chair. My feet are a little bit out from my body so that they're not crunched under. If we sit like this all day, this has a tendency to cut off the circulation down to our lower body, our calves and our ankles and our toes, right? So we want to get to at least here, if not toes a little bit out in front of our knees.